I don't know. Just got somebody who said the top four, the Mount Rushmore of local and SEC media trolls. This is who he put down. John Adams. Well, you'd call him a troll. Paul Feinbaum. People at Kentucky Sports Radio don't return phone calls, by the way. At least they didn't. 1420 WEMB Sports Radio, Tri-City Sports Now. We're in our final segment. And let's see here, as I can hopefully continue to broadcast this on Facebook here for our listeners there and viewers who are watching the show on archive or whatever. You know, I don't want my iPhone, my pictures on my iPhone are personal. I don't want them being, taken away and all this. Anyway, making the edit there, if you will. But anyway, I want to thank Caleb Calhoun for Tennessee. Tomorrow, by the way, Teresa Gennaro. There's been a lot of conversation about, the Preakness, but also the horses continue to die at Santa Anita. And I'm just of the opinion, you got to shut down that track. I mean, I just, there are people starving in wherever, and you are concerned about turtles, or horses, or dogs, or mice, or Gila monsters, or... Yeah, I am. I'm more innocent than an animal. Okay? Somebody's cruel to an animal, that's generally speaking about, think about that. That's attacking innocence. And that's why people have a problem with it. This man over here is starving. Well, if he wasn't addicted to heroin and nobody forced him to take the needle, there's always a cat more than its own good, one that may be curious or what, whatever, but doesn't deserve being cruel to by mankind. If you're supposed to be superior to animal, and act superior. There you go. That's the essay of the day. That's the Billson philosophy on animals there. I am Marky Billson, Tri-City Sports Now. I want to give a happy birthday out to the greatest living Tennessee volunteer. I'm speaking of John Majors, who's 84 years old today. So, want to thank him for certainly his incredible play as a halfback, running back, and punter, by the way, for the Tennessee Volunteers back in the 50s, in which he yes, even more so than much more so than Peyton Manning. Paul Arnett got no business. Paul Arnett got a touchdown interception ratio as a single wing halfback of 3 TD passes and 13 interceptions on a 2-8 team, and won it. Now it's become very popular to say, what about Jim Brown, who, by the way, probably should have been in the top 2. We send all the Heisman voters out a postcard. And that way they don't have to open it up. It goes, all they have to do is flip it over and they see your stats. Sort of like the idea of Twitter right now, this sort of thing. All right. But that was the thing. You had Heisman candidates who preseason who didn't have a very good record, and they were like, just a mediocre player. They're saying a Heisman year. They regressed. And the SIDs would still be sending out all these postcards and all this. And the Heisman voters would say, oh, yes, this quarterback may have thrown more interceptions and touchdowns, but I'm putting him on my list because I keep getting this the SID department. And to tell you the truth, I would have taken him over Brown as well. to Majors about it. He played the politician. He said, well, I didn't think I deserved it. That sort of thing. Yeah, okay. I think you did, okay? Let's put it that way. Also, one of his proteges, actually, is also celebrating a birthday today. Majors is, and although player coach, and Majors was tough on him once, and he's vowed, one day I'll be the head coach of the University of Pittsburgh, and it turned out he was. Yeah. Majors, of course, became the Tennessee football coach after taking a 1-10 Pitt team in '72 to the national championship, and he had some help that first year from Dave Wannstedt. What else to get you? I told you I have some more football news to give you. I guess one of the big news that's been all over the internet has hometown media can sometimes be homers. Roethlisberger was, let me just put it this way, one cocky cuss when he came to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that, and I was covering the Steelers at the time, I think that's actually what they needed. He came to a 6-10 team, which had a lot of comfortable veterans. Started playing in just the second game because of injury. And you know what he was? I've said this many times. He was an ass kicker. Well, ass kicking can be good leadership for immediate results. And hey, the Steelers went 15-1. Only gets you so far. After a while, you tune it out and just start to hate the ass kicker. Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger. Because with a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick and such, okay. But here's the situation. There's a real professional as a sportscaster, Bob Pompiani, up in Pittsburgh. And Pompiani had a sit-down interview with Roethlisberger where he apologized. It was a game against Denver, and on his radio show, Ben Roethlisberger does a interview, much the way Steve Forbes does on this show during the season. He does a weekly interview on one of the all-sports. Antonio Brown didn't like that. On the other hand, was Roethlisberger just doing nothing but being truthful? I think he was. And I appreciate that. The quote, I took some heat, and deservedly so, for the comments on the sports talk show that it's Pony and Cook, which I know nobody around here knows, but yeah, it's a veteran sports writer, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette sports columnist Ron Cook, and Andrew Filipponio. On the weekend it becomes nationally syndicated. I took some heat, and deservedly so, for some of the comments on the Cook and Pony show. Did I got too far after the Denver game? Probably. I don't buy that. I think, again, Roethlisberger is trying to rehabilitate his image. But you know what? I think you ought to stand by the criticism of Brown. Ran the wrong route. And it's up, Brown may say, hey, you're throwing me under the bus. What if he did run the right route? And that sort of thing. Roethlisberger continued. That's the thing about media and social media. As soon as you say sorry, it only goes so far because you can't take it back. I wish I could because I've ruined our friendship and relationship. I truly, genuinely am sorry about that. Seems like a pretty big apology. Antonio Brown, remember what I tell you about Roethlisberger? Who to? But I think we all know, two-faced. Look, Antonio Brown is not the completely innocent figure here. Let's face that fact, too. He's been very selfish, and such. But some of his comments about Roethlisberger, there was a divide in that locker room, though, when they won the Super Bowl back, Super Bowl 40, against the Seahawks. Roethlisberger rubbed some of the veterans the wrong way back then. Now that it's his team, the players that don't like him, namely Bell and Brown, we'll see how well the Steelers do. I know that Colin Cowherd is saying, they'll be great. They'll be New England Patriots names. Ooh. And then Tomlin got upset. We can't have Facebook Live in the locker room anymore. Hey, you know what? It's shooting the messenger. So it's on Tomlin for, making those comments if he doesn't want him to get out. Basically, it doesn't make him look good because he always loses, with the exception of this past year, to the Patriots. So there you go. But was he using Antonio Brown? Therefore, but don't necessarily believe it's all Ben good, Brown bad, or for that matter, vice versa. And that's why that relationship fizzled out. And also, probably because Mike Tomlin lacked the other team chemistry that was desperately needed in that situation. I'm Marky Billson. When we return, more football news. Hey, the Carolina Panthers are getting a new practice facility, putting their franchises, and they've got some big-name coaches as well. I'll try to get you all that news and more when we return on Tri-Cities Sports Now.